Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It is the end of December already. I cannot believe how quickly this year has flown by. So today I'm doing a really quick, easy Christmas makeup look for you. It's nice and festive without being too full on. Whether you're dressing up a little bit more or whether you're just going to be in your PJs, it's always nice to look a little bit more festive at this time of year, particularly with the year we have had, let's face it. So I'm going to go straight in to bare face and show you how we do it from the start. Okay, so the first product that I'm going to use is the Laura Mercier Foundation Primer Protect with SPF 30. And I'm just going to put that on with my fingers. This one sinks in really easily. It doesn't feel tacky, but it just really helps your makeup because, you know, on Christmas Day or the holidays in general, you don't want to have to be touching your makeup up throughout the day, so this really helps it stay put. Then I'm going to be going in with the usual, which is the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation. I know pretty much everybody on YouTube uses this stuff, but I think there's a reason. I think it's the best foundation I've ever used. Probably my 4th bottle now. There we go. So I'm just going to put this onto the Sigma flat kabuki brush. Again, I know this one's really popular. I'm just going to put that straight onto the brush and start applying. I really like this because it's very skin perfecting, so any pigmentation that you have that's uneven, it just sort of softens it a little bit without completely caking your natural skin tone, and it blends in really well as well. So this particular shade, 5.25, I sort of have a slightly different skin tone throughout the year depending on whether I've tanned, whether I'm wearing fake tan, but I always find this shade blends in perfectly regardless of whether or not I've got a tan, so that's good. I'm just going to put it over my lips as well. I know a lot of people would say that this is the completely wrong way to do your makeup, so I know a lot of people do their eye makeup first, and it does make sense so that you can cover up any fallout, but I don't know, to me it just feels weird doing eyeshadow first. It would be like putting your underwear on over your clothes to me. So I'm going to do it the wrong way around and then I'll tidy up too, but that looks like it's quite nicely blended in. Then I'm going to do a little bit of contouring. I don't want to do too much because this is a, you know, sort of daytime look really. And this is the Kiko Sculpting Touch Creamy Stick Contour, and it's in shade 200. And this is what it looks like. It's just like a creamy stick, so I'm just going to use this. I like to do it in a bit of a V shape like that. It's really creamy and it blends really well, so you don't need to worry about being too neat. There we go, just sort of under that cheekbone there. And then my forehead is quite prominent. Some would call it a 5-head. So I'm just gonna bring it round the corners there just to make it look like I've got a bit more shadow going on up here. And then I'm gonna use the edge of that just to draw a little line down either side of my nose. Do a bit of a bump in this side of my nose, so I always try not to draw my line wonky over the bump. And then I'm just going to do my jawline as well, because hey, it's Christmas. Same there. And a straight line right on the edge of my jaw, and then just up a little bit, because again it just sort of sharpens that jawline up a little bit for me. And then I'm gonna blend that in using the Real Techniques, and I think this is just called the sculpting brush actually. It's kind of worn off, but I think that's what it's called. Pull that down the way, again just to create a little bit more shadow, so you've got a bit more of a tight jaw. Just make sure that's all blended. And then again I'm gonna push it out the way. You kind of want to keep this area here kind of light, so you don't want to be pulling it in the way and then getting too much product here. And I'm just blending that into my hairline. Okay, happy with that. Okay, so next I'm just going to do a little bit of under eye concealing and a few other places around my face. I know this is a Maybelline concealer, but I can't tell you what shade it is right now. I'll leave it down below in the description because it's all worn off. Just going to dot couple of dots there. I'm not going to go in too close to my eye, so you don't want anything too creamy and too cakey under this bit here, because that's where it can start to look cracked during the day. I'm just going to put a few dots there down the center of my nose, and I always put a little bit there on my nasolabial lines at the top. Okay, so I'm just going to blend that in gently down the way. Again, you want to keep this kind of central bit of your face here quite light, Just gives a bit more of a 3D effect with your makeup and makes you look a little bit more bright and awake, which we could all be doing with the amount of alcohol I plan on consuming over the holiday period. I don't know where you guys are in the world at the moment, but in Scotland we're going into another full lockdown on Boxing Day. It's just a little bit depressing, so I'm trying to make the absolute most of the Christmas holidays, including making sure that I'm dressing up and looking my best every day because it always cheers me up a little bit. Speaking of which, this jumper is in the shops right now. It's from River Island and it's honestly one of the softest jumpers I have ever owned. They also do it in black, and then you have all of these beautiful pearl beads and they're kind of attached with like pins on the inside. You can see that like studs. I'll link it down below because I think it's just gorgeous. It's got a nice high neck, which I love, and it's just covered in these pearls, so it kind of makes a bit of a noise. So Christmassy, but you wouldn't just wear it like as a Christmas jumper, you could wear it throughout the whole of the season. I'm just gonna set what I've done so far with a little bit of setting powder. I'm just using the Too Faced Born This Way translucent powder. I'm actually going to put this on with a Real Techniques blush brush, but I use this for powder. I think it's a little bit too big for blush for me. If you see like the size, I don't think you can be quite as precise with a brush that big, so I just use this one for powder. I'm just going to put that literally all over my face, just enough to get rid of the tackiness of creamy product. So the next product that I'm going to use is one from Kiko, and it's a little blush and bronzer palette, and this is in 03 Smart. What I really like about this, apart from the fact that, you know, it's really handy because it's got two products in one, is that it has very little shimmer in it, particularly the bronzer, which I tend to use as more of a contour again. I think, you know, when you are doing a full look, you probably want to add your shimmer yourself. My lips are going to be quite stand out, my eyes are going to be quite stand out, so I probably do want something a little bit more subtle on the cheek, and I find this shade is really perfect. It goes with pretty much every makeup look I've ever done. It's coming up very true to the shade on camera as well. I think this is the Sigma. Again, I'll link it down below what number it is because that's worn off. And I'm just going to apply a tiny, tiny bit to the apples and blend it out that way. Again, I really don't want my cheeks to be too stand out. And then while we're on these powder cheek products, I'm actually going to go in with the highlighter now. I feel like doing it now because I feel like showing it to you because it's so pretty. You can see that I've used it a little bit. This is actually my mum's one. Such a beautiful colour. It's almost like a blush because it's very pinky, but it doesn't go on that intense, if you see what I mean. So this is the Laura Mercier Face Illuminator in the shade Inspiration. There's quite a nice shade range actually with the Laura Mercier highlighters, and this is again another Real Techniques. This is actually a setting brush, but for the longest time I've been using this for various highlighters, so it's just become my highlight brush. I'm going to dab it on rather than brushing it, so I think that gives you a slightly nicer effect. Also just going to do it gently down my nose, not much at all, and then a Cupid's bow. That'll help the lips pop stand out. Before I move on to my eyes, I'm going to sort my brows out because I'm a natural blonde, so they're incredibly pale, and I did dye them recently actually, but I think my Clarisonic has had about all of the dye off. The one I've been using at the moment, and I really love the colour of this for being a natural blonde, is the Hourglass Arch Brow Sculpting Pencil, and this is in the shade Warm Blonde. There it is. As you can see, it's one of these ones that's kind of like a slanty pencil, and I find that really handy. It keeps it quite sharp, so you've always got like a really fine end and then a thicker end for colouring and filling in if you like. So I'm just gonna start by drawing outline of my brows. I have quite naturally sparse brows. Things like brow lamination and treatments like that aren't really suitable for me because I just don't have enough brow. Trying to do makeup in the viewfinder is quite interesting. I'll blend that out in a minute, don't worry. I used to do sort of the whole technique like putting strokes in like this, but to be honest I find by the time that you've blended out anyway, you can't really tell that you've done that, so I'll just do that with the spoolie in a minute. And fill in a little. Okay, so now obviously I'm just going to blend that in, and handily there's a little spoolie on the other end of this. So I'm just going to go up the way, blend the peel out a little bit. Okay, so now we're actually getting on to the good stuff. So I'm going to do my eyes next, and I'm going to be using Morphe eyeshadow palette. It's one of the 9 palettes, and this is 9A. If you had the Look Fantastic advent calendar last year, so 2019, then you would have got one of these. I didn't get the Look Fantastic advent calendar this year because they were selling out already on the pre-order in October, and I was not thinking about Christmas in October. And then I'm just going to use this NARS angled brush. Really good for just dabbing and stippling. It's good for blending, and the angle of it as well is just perfect for making a little flick, doing this little area here. First of all, I'm going to go in with the shade Myself, which is that one there, so really pale, just all over the lids, blending out towards my brow bone there. What I really love about the Morphe eyeshadows is they're really pigmented, I feel, but also quite blendable. I'm also quite a big fan of the MAC eyeshadows as well. Somebody's come to see us. Hi. Mwah. Hey baby. Oh, no, okay. Okay, so next I'm actually gonna go over that in that same area with the shade Connection, which you can see is like a bronze, kind of very dark browny bronze color with a shimmer, which I think is gorgeous. I'm gonna go straight over what we did in that corner. Just gonna pull it right into the middle sort of area of the eye. The amount that you pull out yours will just depend again on how much space you've got between there, how hooded your eyes are, and so on. So you can play around with it. But I'm kind of going out the way, if you look here, a little bit the same way you go with a wing. For the inside of the top eyelid, I'm going to go with the shade Surprise, which again is a shimmery color, but this one's a lot more golden. So that's what it looks like. And I might actually just dab that on. I think that'll give a nicer effect. And if you get a little bit of fallout down here, don't worry, because it'll actually help to brighten up your eye. Yeah, you can see it's there. It's that nice little pop in the corner of your eye. Let's do the same there. Okay. And then I'm going to blend that before I move on to putting a little bit of shadow down here. Okay, so you can see it's kind of smoky, but again, it's not so smoky that it's not really appropriate for daytime. The lips are still going to be kind of the main pop in this look. I'm very excited about playing with the lip products. But I'm going to finish it off just by putting a little bit of that darker shade under here, just to bring that smoky shadow round and frame the eyes a little bit more. Again, I'm going to use a NARS brush for this, like a really stubby, very tightly packed brush, and it's ideal for putting shadow exactly where you want it under the eyes. If it's not available, I'll link something similar below. I'm just going to go in there again. I'm just going to bring that around. I'm not going to bring it all the way in because I want to keep this area kind of bright, just to keep the eyes wide. I really don't want to be too worried about how perfect it looks. So now, as expected, I'm just going to tidy up this line here with a little bit of the concealer from earlier. So I'm just going to dab it there very lightly, because it's quite a highly pigmented, thick concealer this is. And then just use this angled brush just to draw the line like that. So you're kind of creating a natural wing there with your eyeshadow. There we go. You see the difference, it's a lot cleaner now. Next, I'm just going to do eyeliner on the top because we've basically already put eyeliner on the bottom, so I'm going to use a liquid liner, and this is the NYX Epic Ink liner in black. I also have it in brown. Honestly, for the price, I think this is one of the best liquid ink pen liners that you can get. Once it's dried, it's in place, it doesn't move, as you can see. Really versatile as well. You can make thick lines and thin lines with it and they don't bleed at all. I think it's fantastic. So I'm just going to go in with a very simple wing, following that line that we've just made there by tidying up the shadow. This is incredibly difficult to do in a viewfinder. And then I'm going to do a thinner line from the inside, making it slightly thicker to join that wing on the outside. Okay, Now I'm going to go in with some mascara and false lashes. So my absolute favourite mascara of all time, don't think I'll ever change my mind on that one, is the Benefit Roller Lash. My lashes are naturally very fine and very straight, and this just gives them brilliant curl. It's lovely and black, it separates them beautifully, it doesn't clump. And start just by putting a little bit on the top of them. I always find that helps to make them a little bit darker, especially if you're using powder products. The tops can get kind of shimmery, so start with the top. And then I'm going to wriggle the brush up through the lashes like that. And I'm actually going to pull the lashes out that way a little bit rather than going straight up with all of them, just because I think it helps to mirror the shape of what we've done on the top under the brow bone there. Okay, it's coming along, starting to get there. So for lashes, I'm just going to use my favourite sort of everyday lash. Not that top pair, I've just stuck them there, but this is the Ardell 110. They're very fine, they're very natural. They just add a little bit more fullness, and they're not so long that they're going to be like hitting this brow bone up here, which I find can happen with some of the slightly more dramatic ones. I'll just stick them on really quickly and then I'll be back. Okay, so that's the eyelashes done, and we're on to the final bit of the look, and that is the piece de resistance, which is the lip. Now, I am going to use a few more products on the lip. I'm actually going to use a combination of 4 products, just because I couldn't quite find the exact red that I wanted for a Christmassy look, so I'm combining a few. So I'm going to start off with 2 MAC lip liners, and these are, I think one of these is just the normal lip pencil and one is the Pro Longwear lip pencil. So the Pro Longwear one is in the shade Dark Out, and then the normal lip pencil is in the shade Brick, which I know is also quite a popular one, and it's a little bit brighter, it's a little bit more of an orangey summery red, but combining these two together, I'm just going to get that perfect look. So I'm going to start with the darker shade, which is Dark Out, and just line all the way around my lips. Like so. My lips have been incredibly dry in the last couple of weeks, as you can probably see, and the only thing that I find, the only lip balm that I find that works for me, and I've tried so many, is the Jo Malone Vitamin E Lip Conditioner. It's quite sticky, it's quite tacky, but it's got loads of vitamin E, which is really moisturizing for your skin. So yeah, I've been putting that on several times a day, you know, after meals, just to keep them moisturized, and it's working wonders, but we're not quite there yet. And then I'm literally just gonna go over that with the lighter shade, which is the Brick, just to mix them. This is quite creamy, so easy to mix them actually. When you're doing a red lip, I really would recommend using a lip liner, regardless of what kind of product you're using, whether it's, you know, an ink, a crayon, a lipstick, a gloss, because red, for some reason, if you get even the tiniest of bleeds of colour, makes you look a little bit like a clown. It's probably not the look you're going for. Just define that Cupid's bow a little more. Okay, so now that's done, we're moving on to the main colours, and I've actually gone to Chanel for both of these. So the first that I'm going to put on again is the darker one first, and it's one of the Le Rouge crayons from Chanel, and this is in the shade 289 Black Currant. So it's a really dark burgundy type colour, or a black curranty colour I suppose, and these again, they're really creamy. You can just apply them straight to the lips. So I'm just going to put that all over the lip, just covering up the lip liner there. You'll see why I've gone for the slightly brighter lip liner in a minute, because I think it helps the edges to pop a little bit more. Basically, we don't want it to look too dark. Yeah, so you can kind of see here where the lip liner is lighter. I think slightly brighter lip liner just lifts the look slightly. Not looking too dark, too gothic, if you like. Ideal again if you're doing a deep red lip in the daytime. And see how lovely that is on. It's a beautiful, beautiful colour. I'm also then going to use another product from Chanel, and this is a sample one that I got, but it's lasting ages actually, and it's the Chanel Rouge Allure Ink Matte Liquid Lip Colour in 152, and this is a lot brighter. It's a little pinkier as well, if you see what I mean. Once it's on, and it really does have a fairly good staying power. It's probably not going to last for your Christmas dinner, I'll be honest, but because you've also put another shade on underneath, you will still have a nice deep red stain on your lips. So I'm going to go over with this. You can see it's just adding a little bit more brightness. Of course, if you do get red lipstick wrong as well, you can always use your concealer again, how we did under the eye, just to tidy it up a little bit. There we go. Okay, so we are done, guys. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope this was easy to understand. I've not done a makeup tutorial video before. I'm certainly no pro, but I really hope that you like the look. I'll leave all the products and tools that I've used below. Let me know what you think of this look, and that's it, guys, for this year. I hope you've enjoyed my final video of 2020. What a year it's been. Thank you so much to all of you that have watched my videos and commented and subscribed. It means the world. You can also follow me on Instagram and my blog. I'm putting articles on every month. If you haven't subscribed already, hit the subscribe button below. I would love to see you back here in the new year. So until then, I wish you all the best and a happy holidays. Hopefully you'll be able to spend some time with loved ones, whether it's face-to-face or whether it's virtually. Stay safe, love you lots, and I will see you in the new year. Bye!